Welcome to the Valentine's Day special, where you get to choose where the story goes. Please keep in mind that you must watch this on a desktop computer to get the full experience. Marinette blinked her eyes open to the overbearing sunlight. It was Valentine's Day, and the outside world matched her outlook, bright and sunny. She had made truffles the night before and was looking forward to giving them out during class. "Do you think he'll like them?" Marinette asked.
"Who? Adrien? Of course! He'll gobble them right up!"
Tiki grinned, flying over to perch on the desk. "I don't know, Tiki. Do you think I should give them to Cat Noir as well?"
"Absolutely! He'll love them!"
"But there's a party going on tonight. If I'm going to get them to him today, I'll need to miss my morning classes with Adrien."
"Well, Marinette, it sounds like you have a choice to make."
What should Marinette do? Skip class and find Cat Noir, or go to class to meet Adrien? You have chosen skip class and find Cat Noir. "I think I'm going to go find Cat Noir," Marinette sighed, picking up the mason jar of treats with his name scribbled on it. "Tiki, spots on!" A few minutes later, Ladybug was sitting on the roof of Notre Dame, waiting for her partner to notice her presence. She was sure the Ladybug would catch wind of her sooner or later, but she was a little more impatient than usual today. She had treats to give Adrien and her friends as well. Alia was mad when Marinette told her that she wouldn't be confessing to Adrien today. She had some valid reasons, however. Even if Adrien agreed to date her, which he wouldn't, she would still have to lie to him about her identity. She couldn't do that. Who could lie to that handsome jawline and jasmine green eyes? She sighed and looked over Paris, gasping when she saw a familiar face. "Adrien?" she whispered. What was he doing out of class? She felt her heart tug at her common sense, urging her to impress the boy. Would he say yes if it was Ladybug who asked him out? What should Ladybug do? Stay on the roof and wait for Cat Noir, or talk to Adrien? You have chosen stay on the roof and wait for Cat Noir. She sighed once more and looked away from her heartthrob crush. Adrien had his own life to live, as did she. Closing her eyes, she leaned back on the rooftop, letting the wind rustle her hair until she felt another presence by her side. She didn't need to hear his voice to know he was there. "Catching a quick cat nap, my lady?" Ladybug smiled as Cat Noir greeted her and pulled out the jar of truffles. She watched as his hair fluffed in excitement and surprise, obviously delighted at receiving a present. "You've earned it, kitty," she said. "You brought treats? For me?" "Happy Valentine's Day, Cat." He carefully took the jar out of her hands, speechless for once. "Thank you," he whispered. "I've got places to be, so I'll see you around, okay?" "Bugaboo, wait," he said, reaching out for her hand. "What's wrong?" "I was wondering if you'd spend the day with me?" She began, tempted by his offer. What should Ladybug do? Blow off classes and spend the day with Cat Noir, or go back to class? You have chosen blow off classes and spend the day with Cat Noir. She thought of all the things he had done for her and decided it was worth it. What was one day to show her appreciation for the boy?
All right.
Great! You won't regret it, LB! He exclaimed, wrapping his arm around her waist. Let's go!
Where are you taking me?
She asked, biting back a squeak as he picked her up and started sprinting across the rooftops of Paris. This is the most romantic city in the world. Remember? Just trust me.
Wait, Cat, is this a date?
If you'd like to call it that, yes. She rolled her eyes as he gripped her closer, leaping onto the balcony of a mansion that cost more than she would ever make in her lifetime. He sat her down in a chair and popped open a bottle of something sparkling before setting a crepe down in front of her.
The view up here is amazing,
she whispered, looking out at the city, her home, with wide eyes. I thought you'd like it. I made a couple of phone calls on my way to Notre Dame.
What do you mean?
She asked, taking a sip of her glass. It was apple juice. Turn around. She gasped as she saw a harpist and a saxophonist set up on the other side of the roof. The Alberti bass line of the harp mixed with the soulful melody of the sax took her breath away, and she looked back at Cat Noir, confused and delighted at the same time. Will you be my Valentine, Bugaboo? How should Ladybug respond? Say yes! Or, he's your partner. Don't complicate it. You have chosen. Say yes!
Wow, you're slicker than I thought, she giggled.
Is that a yes?
It is. I'll be your Valentine for a few more hours, kitty.
She had expected him to continue the banter, but, to her surprise, he suddenly went quiet. Looking closer, she could see a blush spread out from beneath his mask. What was going on? Before she could figure it out, he had leaned across the table and cupped his hand around her cheek, awkwardly bumping lips with hers. Her mind went blank and she forgot to pull away, lingering on his lips instead. After a moment they separated, confusion in her eyes and heat on her face. Cat, she whispered. I love you, Ladybug. I don't care who's underneath that mask. We are partners. Please. What should Ladybug do? Give him a chance or stay as friends? You have chosen. Give him a chance. Every wonderful thing he had ever done for her raced through her head as his eyes locked with hers. He was serious. Okay. Okay? You've proven to be a good partner so far, and that's what really being in a relationship is, so I'd be okay with dating you. His face broke into a smile as he started tearing up. Really? I just want to make one thing clear, Cat. I'm not in love with you. You'll have to work for that. My lady, the chance is more than enough, he whispered, pulling her into a tight embrace. Ladybug didn't know if she would fall for him in the end, but she knew she'd be a fool if she didn't at least give him a shot. You have reached the end of the Lady Noir Best Ending route. Refresh the page for another version of the story. You have chosen Stay as Friends. I'm sorry, Cat, Ladybug said, but I just can't. I have someone else I like, and I don't want to compromise our partnership.
I understand, he whispered.
Still partners?
Yeah, still partners. What do you say we put some brunch in our bellies?
That sounds great, she laughed, grateful he was able to be mature about this. And so they sat there eating, the Valentine of the other, but not truly a couple. What would the future bring for this duo? You have reached the end of the Lady Noir worst ending route. Refresh the page for another chance. You have chosen. He's your partner. Don't complicate it. Ladybug laughed at his joke. It was just like him to pull something like this. I'll pass, kitty, she grinned. Maybe next time. It was sweet of him to do something like this in case she didn't have a Valentine of her own. He was thoughtful like that.
Darn, he laughed. Will you at least stay for brunch?
Absolutely. And so there the duo sat, serenaded by the music that matched the aesthetic of the view over the city they called home. It was nice to spend company with each other, as they were partners who trusted each other dearly. You have reached the Lady Noir neutral ending route. Refresh the page for another chance. You have chosen go back to class. I'd better get back. Life goes on, you know, she said, looking out over the city.
Yeah, me too, he sighed. It would have been nice, though.
Yeah, it would have, Ladybug agreed. And so, just like that, the partners went their separate ways. You have reached the Lady Noir mediocre ending route. Refresh the page for another chance. You have chosen go talk to Adrien. She knew she shouldn't, but Ladybug pulled out her yo-yo and zipped down to the alleyway Adrien had walked into.
Ladybug?
He exclaimed, recoiling in surprise at her sudden appearance. Hey, Adrien! Happy Valentine's Day! She smiled, trying to keep herself composed in front of her crush.
Happy Valentine's Day, he said. What are you doing here?
She began. How should Ladybug respond? Give him Cat Noir's present, or go back to school? You have chosen give him Cat Noir's present. I have something for you, she exclaimed, shoving the jar of truffles meant for Cat Noir into his hands.
For me?
His eyes widened in surprise. She couldn't make eye contact with him as he studied the gift. I just thought, since you're friends with that lady blog girl named Alia, I should make something for you too.
These are homemade?
He asked, a grin spreading across his face.
Yeah. You didn't have to go out of your way to make these for me, Bug.
He cleared his throat.
Ladybug, thank you.
She felt her heart thumping wildly as she realized the position she was in. Wasn't this the kind of mood perfect for a confession? What should Ladybug do? Tell him how you feel, girl! Or, don't risk it. You have chosen go back to school. It's always nice to say hi to a friendly face, don't you think? She smiled. Anyway, it's time to go. I'll see you around, okay, Adrien?
Yeah, he said. I'll see you around.
And with his words ringing in her ears, Ladybug pulled out her yo-yo and zipped away. Even with the mask on, she couldn't bring herself to ask Adrien and Ladybug to be her Valentine. You have reached the Ladrian mediocre ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen Don't Risk It. Of course! I hope you enjoy them. Ladybug grinned, restrained by fear. It would be foolish of her to make such an irrational decision like confessing to a boy who had no romantic feelings for the girl under the mask. Hey, Ladybug, Adrien said, catching her arm as she pulled out the yo-yo. Yes? I just want you to know that you're my idol. I look up to you a lot. Ladybug felt a blush spread beneath her mask. Thank you for your kind words and support, she whispered. I'd better get going. A few minutes later, she was running across the roofs of Paris, late for school, but with energy in her steps. It's amazing what a little encouragement from her crush can do for a girl. You have reached the Ladrian neutral ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen Tell him how you feel, girl. Hey, Adrien? She began. This was crazy. She shouldn't be doing this. Yes, Ladybug? I like you. She said it to the concrete beneath her feet, but it was obvious that it was for him. Ladybug gathered all of her courage to look up as his expression turned from a wide grin into that of surprise before he turned around. Her heart sank at his response, and tears stung her eyes. This was stupid. Why did she say that? He sighed and turned around, peeking through his fingers to make eye contact with her. He began, unsure how to finish his sentence. She noticed that he was blushing. Even the tips of his ears were pink. I'm flattered, but... What should Ladybug do? Cut him off. She shouldn't have to hear him reject her. Or let him finish. You have chosen Let him finish. Ladybug stood there, limbs numb, waiting for him to finish his sentence. It was time. If he didn't want to date Ladybug, then there was no way Marinette had a chance. Are you sure you'd be okay with someone like me? He asked. Her eyes grew to the size of dinner plates. What? She whispered. Adrien and Ladybug accepted her confession. I mean, you're Ladybug, he continued, and I'm just some rich kid that has connections. There's nothing special about me. That's not true, she said, reaching out and grabbing his shoulders. You're what gets me up in the morning. You're what motivates me to balance schoolwork, friends, and a superhero lifestyle. He looked down at her hands on his shoulder and took her left in his own, slowly raising it to his lips. What do you say we skip responsibilities for the day and get brunch? Brunch? Let me take you on a date, Ladybug. Okay, she whispered. And just like that, Paris's superhero duo became partners in every sense of the word, although they didn't know it. You have reached the Ladrian best ending. Refresh the page to play again. You have chosen Cut him off. She shouldn't have to hear him reject her.
Just thought you should know. I mean, I like Alia and Nino as well, but there's something about you that just fascinates me, you know? She said, trying to cover up her previous statement. Would it work? His face tightened into that sunshine model smile he wore for photo shoots, and he laughed, clearly embarrassed by his misinterpretation. Well, as I said, I'm flattered, but don't forget I like you too. Ladybug's heart swelled in pain as she pulled out her yo-yo. Stay safe, you handsome model, she called out, zipping her way up to the nearest rooftop. Both of Paris's heroes were heartbroken for Valentine's Day this year. You have reached the Ladrien bad ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen Go to Class with Adrien. Marinette grabbed the jar for Adrien and flew down the stairs, worried she would be late for school. If she took a shortcut, she would make it on time. To her surprise, the teacher wasn't there when she rolled into the classroom. Adrien walked in behind her, catching her off guard. Oh, hey, Marinette! Happy Valentine's Day, he said. Adrien! Hi! She squeaked in surprise. What's going on? Oh, nothing much, she said, tightening her grip on the jar. What do you have there? He asked. It's for you. Happy Valentine's Day, she said, handing it to him and smiling. For me? Wow, Marinette, this looks great, but I didn't get you anything. It's no big deal. I thought you might like it. You're so sweet. Whoever ends up with you is a lucky guy. She felt the air escape her lungs. This wasn't a confession. It was just a gift. Thank you, Adrien, she began. What should Marinette say? But, could you meet me after class? Or, we should make them together sometime. You have chosen, but, could you meet me after class? But, could you meet me after class? Marinette asked. Sure. Where? In the courtyard? Yeah, okay. He smiled, setting his backpack down and pulling out his textbook as the teacher walked in. 6 hours of class, with a lunch break later, Marinette found herself shaking in fear as she cleaned up to go home. Could she do this? Could she confess to Adrien how she felt about him? The classroom was almost empty as she zipped her backpack closed. Should she tell him here instead? What should Marinette do? Confess in the classroom or meet him in the courtyard? You have chosen confess in the classroom. Hey, Adrien? She called out, catching his attention before he left the room. Yes, he said, making his way back to her seat. I just wanted to let you know that those truffles I gave you for Valentine's Day weren't because I see you as just a friend. Confusion painted itself across his face. What do you mean? I'm telling you that I like you. The world stopped as she slowly looked up to see how he'd respond. For once in his life, Adrien's face was blank. He wasn't wearing an expression, real or painted on. It was Marinette's first time seeing him like this, and it frightened her. How was she supposed to interpret it? Marinette, Adrien began, reaching out towards her. What should Marinette do? Wait for his response? Or kiss the boy? You have chosen kiss the boy. Before her brain registered what she was doing, Marinette had pressed her lips to his.
It was a quick, chaste peck, but it expressed what she wanted him to know. She liked him. The silence was deafening after they broke away. Adrien's face contorted into a cocktail of shock and terror. "I just wanted you to know," she whispered, picking up her backpack and turning to leave. She didn't know if she would puke or bawl first, but Marinette didn't want him around either way. "Marinette, wait," he said, catching her arm. How should Marinette respond? Stay or move on? "You have chosen to stay." She stopped in her tracks, tears already in her eyes. There was no fighting the heartbreak. "Yes," she coughed. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I can't return your feelings. Not like this." "I get it, Adrien. I just wanted to tell you. I didn't expect anything more than that." And just like that, the feeling she had carried by herself for the last year came tumbling out as tears. But isn't that why they call it a crush? You've reached the Adrienette bad ending. Refresh the page for another try. You have chosen, we should make them together sometime. We should make them together sometime, Marinette blushed. I'd like that, he smiled, shaking the jar so the truffles inside shifted back and forth. I'm always down for spending more time with you, Marinette. A warm, fuzzy feeling spread across her chest as she sat down in her seat. She may not have confessed her feelings, but she confirmed something else instead. She was Adrien's friend, and that was good enough for her. You have reached the Adrienette neutral ending. Refresh the page for another try. You have chosen wait for his response. I don't know how to respond, Adrien confessed. I mean, to be honest, I like you too, but there's another girl. It was Marinette's turn to blink in surprise. What did that mean? Wait, what? You're special to me, Marinette, and I don't want to lose you, but I'm not where you are emotionally. But I want to be. I want to like you. So, what now? She whispered. For now, how about I walk you home? A smile spread across her face as Marinette suddenly remembered how to breathe again. Really? Yeah. They put on their backpacks and left the building. It was surreal, as though it were a dream. Thanks for walking me home, Marinette said, attempting to break the silence. Hey, Adrien began. Yeah? Can I hold your hand? Her eyes widened as he glanced her way. Of course, she exclaimed, turning a shade of pink. Sorry, I've never done this before, so I figured it was a good place to start. Marinette felt his fingers entwined between hers and heard her heartbeat pumping in her ears. She had imagined this moment 1,000 times before, but it was still different than she expected, in a good way. It was a Valentine's Day she would never forget. You have reached the Adrienette good ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen, move on, girl. It's obvious he isn't interested. I should go. Have a good day, Adrien, she whispered, tugging his arm away.
She ran home and threw herself on her sofa, realizing that there was no way she was going to Alia's party tonight. The hours passed, and, despite Tiki's encouragement, Marinette made no effort to move until she heard a tapping on the window. "How are you, princess?" She looked up from her pillows, smeared with mascara and all, to see Cat Noir climbing down the ladder from the balcony. "Cat, what are you doing here?" she asked, while trying to scrub the tear stains off her face. "I can't leave a pretty girl like yourself alone on a holiday like this, can I?" he winked. How should Marinette respond? Use him for comfort, or send him away? You have chosen. Send him away. "Go away, Cat. I'm not in the mood," she sighed, turning back to her pillows. "Hey, what's wrong?" he asked, sitting down next to her. "Leave me alone." She heard him sigh before she felt him giving her a back scratch. "Is there anything I can do?" The sensation of his fingers on her back was more pleasant than expected. It was a perfectly innocent gesture that was proof of their strange relationship. "On the desk there's a jar. It's for you," she said. "A present? For me?" he said, lifting his hand in surprise. "Truffles. I made them for everyone in my life." "Really? Isn't this something you'd make for a crush?" "I have no such thing." He stiffened at her words. "Isn't there anyone you like, princess?" "Not anymore. I'm over it." "Really? That's a shame." "Why's that?" "Because any guy would be lucky to date you." What should Marinette say in response? "You're just saying that," or "I know that already." You have chosen. You're just saying that. "You're just saying that," Marinette sighed. "I bet you wouldn't date a girl like me." "Want to bet on it?" "What are you going to do? Kiss me?" she joked. Her heart was hurting so terribly that she didn't care what happened anymore. "It's not like I'd be taking your first kiss," he laughed, obviously unsure how to respond. "You don't know that." "I can give you a different kind of kiss." "Forget it, Cat Noir. It's getting late, and you should go home." "That's the problem with strays like me," he smirked, pulling her to an upright position. "We don't have places to go back to." "What are you—" she began as he wrapped himself around her from the backside. Before she could finish her sentence, his breath was on her neck, a bolt of electricity running through her body as his lips touched her skin. Silence filled the room as Marinette sat there, frozen and unsure how to respond. "Unless, of course," Cat Noir whispered, "we find a master to take us in." And just like that, he disappeared into the night, leaving Marinette with only thoughts of him for the evening. It was a Valentine's Day she could have never predicted. You have reached the Merry Chat good ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen meet in the courtyard. No, she said the courtyard, and she meant it. Marinette waited a few minutes for him to leave before making her way down the staircase. "There you are," he said. "Hey, Adrien," she smiled. "I hate to say this, but I'm kind of in a rush. Can this wait?" Marinette was off guard.
Sure.
Great, he grinned.
Actually, she said, feeling her courage draining away, don't worry about it. It's nothing big. I can ask Alia instead.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
See you then.
Marinette sighed as she watched him run to the car waiting for him in front of the school. Why couldn't she be as confident as Ladybug without the mask? You have reached the Adrienette mediocre ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen use him for comfort.
Oh, Cat, she began, feeling the tears swelling up again. She reached out and pulled him closer and placed her head on his chest.
Are you okay?
Where do broken hearts go? She asked, her voice cracking. He said nothing as he wrapped his arms around her, running his fingers through her hair. There was an irony there, of course, but he didn't know what else to do. And so their Valentine's Day was filled with two different kinds of sadness: heartbreak and guilt. You have reached the Mary Shat neutral ending. Refresh the page to try again. You have chosen, I know that already. I know that already! You men need to stop hiding behind that excuse, she said, exploding into a rage.
Marinette.
Stop! Just stop, okay? Leave me alone! Silence filled the air as a foul taste settled in her mouth. She walked over to the window and gestured for him to leave. She didn't want to be with anyone tonight.
Feel better, princess,
Cat whispered, glancing away from her eyes like a guilty kitten. And so, both of Paris' superheroes spent their Valentine's Day evening alone. You have reached the Mary Shat bad ending. Refresh the page to try again. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have been recording for 40 minutes. What is life? Actually, that's not the hard part. The hard part is knowing that I'll be editing this for the next 2 hours and it's going to take 6 hours to upload to YouTube. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out, nerds. I love you all.